What's up, everybody? Welcome to another call to reaction match breakdown. We're breaking down the big match from today, and I am with my lovely co-host. She's all Guccified out, it looks like. Kelsey, how are you, girl?
I'm doing good. I just felt in the mood. As you know, I'm a disciple of the Gucciverse and all things Finstock Exchange. And so I just wanted to remind everyone that greed is good.
Greed is good. Well, there's only one person who could probably out Guccify you, and he is here. I had to pull him off a backlot deal somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where he's calling in from. He's got some kind of merchandise in his trunk. He's in his vehicle. He's moving along. He's only got him for a few minutes, but he said, he loves us, so he'll come on and talk to us real briefly. Let's bring him on right now. The one and only Bobby Gucci.
Yeah, no, I get it. All right. Oh, what's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on?
Just doing our thing.
Doing your thing every day.
Doing our thing over here. Yeah, it's an interesting time. California's burning down, and it's like a very odd, eerie sky with smoke filled. You wake up in the morning, it looks like Total Recall, man. It's really interesting stuff. It's not good to breathe here. It's never good to breathe here, but now it's worse. Especially with COVID. So wearing a mask is actually pretty good here, even if it wasn't COVID, to be honest with you, as of right now. There's ashes everywhere. It's a disaster. But
I can imagine that. But I gotta say, knowing how I know you, it feels like you can always take advantage of any situation and make it work for you. So
I've done. Look, my lungs are. I got some of the best lungs on the planet, and my sinuses and everything is just so good. They're fantastic. Nice outfit, Kelsey. Looks fantastic.
Thanks.
It's gold.
Very gold.
I like the backdrop too. Backdrop's there. PLD, you're sexy too. Don't worry about it.
Well, thanks. I only got the facial hair. I got some good facial hair too, so I love that going on.
There you go. There you go.
Well, all right. Well, this was a big match and quite a shocking outcome. So you know what? I know you have a little bit of time, so let's get right into it. What was your and John's thoughts leading into this match, knowing the outcome as it is now? He just lost his match against Irwin. He lost his match against Corruption. He seemed like he was all ready to go. Is it a chance that he was overlooking Adam Collins a little bit, possibly in the first round?
I don't think it was an overlooking thing because we knew. I was like, listen, John, if we can get past Adam Collins, I think we can go to the finals. And he was like, I heard good things about this kid. I'm like, yeah, he's playing some. I think he watched some. We both watched some of his fan matches and a couple other things. I'm like, I really can't find any holes in this guy just yet. And that's the thing. It's like when fans don't play too many games, and they get into the league, you don't know what their faults are. You don't know how to rattle them. You really don't understand what's going on. And rookies beat legends every once in a while. It happened here. The guy played, I think, damn near perfect, if not perfect. I think he went perfect.
He pitched perfect.
He put that on the wheel. He got what he wanted on the wheel. John got what he wanted on the wheel, but there were some really deep cuts there. And John didn't play bad at all. He missed one question in the first round, and I still felt good. We wanted to get this kid to the 5, and we thought he might have been, a little intimidated by playing John, but he wasn't. And he played well, and this kid's got a bright future, man. He's solid. He's a solid player. There's no question about that. Corruption found a diamond in the rough, I think. Good for them.
Absolutely.
Fuck them, but good for them. You know what I mean?
No, you got to say that. Absolutely.
I'm sick of being a nice guy. Fuck these guys.
There you go. Well, you can
go in here and win this goddamn thing, bro. Shit.
Well, it's been a little
pressure on a guy like me, man. It's either way, we're still going to be at the end with the flag waving, but they're putting a lot of pressure, and they're doing well. They're doing well. Swag too.
Made it a little difficult. Yeah, made it a little difficult. Anyway. Fuck them too. Yeah. What's the channel? They can all go to fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Perfectly enough. Well, how did it feel watching him? And you kind of seemed like the whole thing, it just was a slow burn downfall. It just seemed like everything just kind of kept going.
That's what I think. That's what I thought. I thought that the match was too tame for John. Mm-hmm. He likes to play. He plays he definitely plays up to his level of competition. And not saying we didn't think Adam was on his level of competition knowledge-wise.
Right.
But gameplay aura, the mythical figure level, you know what I mean, of Schmoedown lore and legends. So we thought we might have had a chance there, but he just wasn't shook. And it's sort of like the match was over in a split second, it felt like. It felt like it was a 15-minute match tops with promos. You know,
Yeah.
so I was like,
Yeah,
man,
you
this
go
is
by
going
fast.
so fast. I mean, but we kind of wanted, it was going so fast, but it was going so slow. If that makes any sense.
It makes absolute sense.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I was like almost lulled to sleep by it. And I think we got lulled to sleep. And it's a technique, the way, like, you know, you could watch like, old games, old basketball games or old baseball games, or a pitcher's technique. He's very good, but he's very slow. But he's also working fast. And I
Right.
think before we knew it, it was over.
The momentum just never went your way.
That's pretty much the way it went. Yeah.
Do you think that it happened to, like, I think you've mentioned this before in the Action Guys, the difference between playing studio and playing online? Adam Collins used to that in the fan leagues and everything else. John Rocha, you said he's an intimidating factor. He's not intimidating as he is when he's online in a way. You don't have to face him face to face.
Yeah, and I think that's been the case in a lot of these matches, you know, and it ruins the Finstock exchange, the level of, intimidation that we go out with. It's tough for me to, bring aura. I mean, because when we walk into live events and we have 10 people with us, and we're shooting in Burbank where we shot, and there's like Adam Collins sitting there with Shannon, and then we're running out with 10 people. There's definitely the intimidation factor that's missing for sure, and that's the kind of thing that also lulls everybody to sleep, which it lulls the Finstock exchange to sleep, and that's exactly what they did, and they did it right, But we're gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. But no disrespect to Adam, he played a fucking great game, and we knew he was. We knew he would. It was just getting past him, and then we had our sights on the championship, which I think would have happened, but unfortunately it didn't. And now we have the lone man left in it, or the two men left in it. We have two men left in it right now, Barbarian and Riley, and hopefully these guys can pull it through.
Right.
I need both these guys in the finals here. If we can do that, we're going to be in good shape. If we don't, we're going to be not in good shape. Not for lack of a better word. AKA fucked. Yeah.
Well, where are
it all
we
comes
now?
down to tag teams at that point.
I mean, Rocha definitely, obviously, every time, especially recently, this past year or so, every time he seems to lose a big match or lose in kind of a fashion like he lost today, he starts questioning himself a little bit more. How is he now afterwards? Is he like ready to? Is he contemplating retirement?
Oh yeah. Well, no. I mean, obviously, he's Christian announced the teams, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's gonna be playing with Dan. I talked to him after the loss, and I'm like, look, this. Are you ready to play? He's like, I want to win this belt back, and I'm like, all right, that's it. That's all I really needed, because it was a tough decision, no question about it. But you don't leave Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen on the bench. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where it was, and that was the deciding factor. And we need them there. We need them there. We need them. We need Merle and Rocha playing for the championship in the Spectacular. This is what we need.
So you're still
like they had the best chance to do that for sure.
And you're still confident that was the best choice to make at this point. This doesn't shake your confidence at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think this is it. I think that was the move. I think if I would have put another team in there, or just made up a team in there and not put those guys in, I would have fired myself probably. You know what I mean? You just can't do it.
Let's be honest. A lot of people have said, you could have done Who's the Boss, but you could have also done try and do the breakup of like putting Ben with Merle or put Ben with the Barbarian and everything else. I think the one thing that people haven't thought about is that that's a new team. So going into a tournament, you don't have the same chemistry with each other. That could actually be a deficit. When these guys at least have that chemistry of working together, is that part of what brought you to it?
Yeah, of course. And I just want to see these guys do it again. I think they can. I think they will. So we will see. But yeah, it was a tough loss today. I think John played really well. He wasn't angry. And that was another thing. He just was like, kid played great, beat me, fair and square, boom, boom, boom. Not like the usual, craziness that goes on after a Rocha match,
right.
Win or lose, lose. And I think that was the part of what I was talking about, lulling us to sleep for some reason. And I think like I said, before we knew it, the match was over. And we were like, what just happened? So it happens, Yeah. It's like, it's like somebody slipping somebody a Mickey in the club. You just wake up somewhere and be like, I don't know, I even know how I got here. And that's pretty much what happened.
Well, that leads you to a good point, though, and well, I mean, you have the tournament coming up, the tag teams, the teams tournament coming up. Now, McKee and Collins are now a team in the tournament. Does
Yes.
John have any idea? Maybe is it going to be something he's worried about, or is he going to be really looking for revenge at this point?
I think they're going to be looking for revenge for sure. I told them, do not look past any team in this thing. I mean, obviously, you're not going to have three of the best teams in the tournament because they're playing. Each Shazam, and then you got Corruption's out, and then Who's the Boss is not playing. So I mean, you got some new teams coming in there that can really do some stuff. Shannon's got a great team in there. Marisol played great. Collins played great. They're ready to play. And then obviously you got the Final Exam is in there, right? And you got a couple other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on real quick. What the hell is this guy doing? Give me 1 second.
Yeah. That's what you gotta do.
What you need, dude? Okay, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right, man. Back to you. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta
Somebody's touching my stuff. Yeah, so when somebody touches my stuff, I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah. Don't touch the Gucci stuff.
They can't touch my money. They can't touch my money makers. They cannot touch my money maker. Anyway, that being said, plus I've never seen the guy before. I'm trying to steal something. Anyway, my equipment's worth a lot of money on my body and off it. So I got to look at it this way. There's some really good teams out there. But the best choice was Founding Fathers. I think they're gonna get past these guys. We'll see. They need to. They need to.
I do.
So
you guys...
Then we got a big one tomorrow, which is going to be interesting.
That's what I wanted to ask. I just wanted to ask about that. Before I know you have to get going shortly, but the big match is tomorrow. Yeah. How's managing both Ben and Dan going to work? Have you worked that out with each other? Or
it's lunacy. It's complete lunacy. You're managing two of the best players of all time, two of the best strategic players of all time, two of the most intense players of all time. In a 5-round slugfest,
right?
It is not going to be the easiest thing in the world. And secrets are like, he's like, I don't want this guy to know my secrets. I don't want this guy to do this. Boom, 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 boom. But unfortunately, after the debacle at the beginning of the year with the management situation, which was live, people seem to think that this is different, and I don't see it being different. I think it's the same kind of thing. Both these, make no mistake about it, both these guys want to beat each other. Ben wants the belt back, and Dan wants to keep it, and I don't blame either one of them. So I think it's going to be it's going to be more of a hands-off approach of managing, because I'm not going to sit back and have those thoughts of like how Riley managed Ben and Rocha managed Murrow. And I'm like, what am I going to do here? Sit with my fucking dick in my hand as the manager? It's ridiculous. So it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work that way. I'm like, I'm a manager for a reason. Fortunately enough, look on the bright side. Tomorrow I'm going to win somehow. Tomorrow there will be a win for the Finstock Exchange. So you got to look at it that way. Get some points on the board.
Gain your lead tomorrow either way.
There'll be a Finstock Exchange champion. Person in the championship as well, because that's just the way it is.
All right.
So, I'm looking at it as that. You know what I mean?
I do. I absolutely do.
So we'll see.
Great.
I'm cool with cursing in here every once in a while, right? Because I'm pissed off.
Oh, this is we can curse whenever we need to.
I wish I could curse on the Schmodown. It'd be a fucking shit show.
We all do, don't we?
But I can't. Trust me, it takes away about 60% of my comedy, not just cursing, just the thought process that goes along with it.
Absolutely, man.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well, I do know that you did have. I really appreciate you making it on, and you're busy as fuck. So I don't want to keep you up any longer making your deals. I appreciate you coming on, giving us your insight in there.
Hold on. What are you doing? Fuck, man, I don't even know this guy. This guy's like lingering around my truck with like a rag.
Oh. So sure it's not Lon? Sure it's not Lon the delinquent? Or?
Yeah, it might be Lon Harris. It might be Lon Harris. He's got like a little cowboy hat on.
I would be surprised if Lon hopped in wake up in the back of your back seat there.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, no, like, hey guys. Yeah, no, it's like it's do or die for the Finstock Exchange, and we know that. Like I said, we're gonna get a win tomorrow, which is good. Either way. And then I guess we're gonna just take it from there, man, and hopefully the chips start falling for us. And if they do, I think we can go all the way, like I said earlier in the year. But once again, I told everybody this was not going to be easy. Players have gotten a hell of a lot better. Players have gotten a hell of a lot more comfortable, especially in a digital age when you don't have to see a guy like me face to face, or go face to face with a guy like Rocha, or face to face, or see Dan Murrell in person, like things like that. And I think they're just like, oh, I'm just playing somebody on screen. Doesn't make any difference. So that's the big issue, I think. But other than that, I'm proud of my guys. They play great every single match. And it's the things are going to happen. That's it. The world is conspiring against the Finch Stock Exchange per the fucking goddamn usual, and that's just the way of life. No one's going to sit back and the majority of people, 95% of the people who aren't on the Finch Stock Exchange wants the Finch Stock Exchange to lose. You know what I mean? So
100%.
Other than people on the Finch Stock Exchange, and that's pretty much it. So the fan base is there. They just kind of want us to lose.
Well, it's when you're on top. That's what happens, right?
Yeah,
when you're top, you got the powerhouses.
Yeah, but the powerhouses are getting brought down to earth.
They are.
It just happens. It happens. But like I said, when the smoke clears, we'll be there. There's no doubt about that. Chips are down. We're the best in town.
Now I got to ask you.
Not right now. Not right now. The chips are floating in the air right now. Yeah, go ahead.
One question I would ask is, and maybe, and this is probably ahead of time, but have you started your process about what you're going to do next year as far as things go? Everybody's been talking about, you have so many powerhouse players. Have you started that process? Who you're keeping, who you're not?
I've had to make so many tough decisions already. I've had to make the toughest decisions in the Schmodown this year. And that's just facts. That's big facts. Everybody else, what's Sam Levine making? Oh, what am I going to do? Cook for dinner tonight? That's what he's thinking. And then there's other guys. Roxy doesn't even know where she's coming or going. Roxy's like, oh, maybe did I face the wall today all day, or do I watch TV? That's an easy decision for them to make. My decisions are like, what team do I put in tag teams? Who do I got to manage here? How does this happen? Who am I keeping next year as a whole? The biggest decisions the Schmodown has ever seen have been made by me, other than Christian. That's true. For sure.
Very true.
So it's what's Kaiser doing? Kaiser's not. What's his decisions? Whether he's cooking Chef Boyardee raviolis or a piece of bread for dinner. That's his big one. Or he's going to drink.
He does a good eggplant parmesan.
A keg of beer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, small change decisions by these guys. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is Winston's going to drive to Jay's house for the stream or stay at his? There's a lot of different things going on.
Well, there's a lot of power outages.
Anyway.
I know that. Knocked out Shkovates yesterday. So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. There is a lot of problems going on. There's a lot of problems going on. It's good stuff.
Good stuff, man.
It's brilliant.
As always.
Well, I'm glad I don't even have to watch this match because it's too much.
I thought that might be.
I don't want to watch it again to see what I possibly did wrong or didn't do wrong. You know what I mean? That's right. What I'm saying.
Well, then that's the last thing I'll ask. I'll ask that last question then for that. Then before we head off, then do you think you did anything wrong? Do you think there's anything you would have done differently this time around if you had a do over?
No, I think maybe a little more of an intimidation thing. Me and Shannon went after each other a little bit. Maybe I don't think his personality possibly isn't rattleable. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think he just wasn't scared. I think he came in really super calm. Who knows? Maybe he was on fucking drugs or something. I don't know. But they don't do drug tests in the Schmodown. You know what I mean? Well, thank good.
No performance enhancement.
They don't.
No. Well, you'd be out of the league.
There might be some, but we're not really 100% sure what's going on.
Some things that aren't FDA approved, probably, but
yeah. Oh yeah. He was maybe they're on some downers or some uppers or something. Who knows? Quaaludes. You never know. And those are coming back into play.
They never left some areas.
But anyway. No, they never did. They're just bootlegged, bringing the Mexican cartels are making them now. So anyway, you guys watch the match, enjoy it. I'm sure people are having a field day in the chats, but Rocha will be back, and they're going to prove themselves. So we'll see how that goes. And everybody tune in tomorrow for sure. Everybody tune into the Gucci verse on Friday, late night Gucci Kaiser. Got a couple of good people coming on, and the Gucci verse on Saturday. We did a great flat earther director came in yesterday. He was fantastic on Ask Gucci.
So good.
You know,
He was.
there was no lewd sex act trivia, but that'll be back next week. You know, we're looking to go full speed ahead. We're looking to go
Always.
full
There's only
speed
one
ahead for the
speed.
rest of the year. Yeah, and then the
There's only
Gucci
one.
verse extravaganza bash for my birthday is going
That's
to be
gonna
off
be
the
exciting.
charts.
That's gonna be fun.
I've heard some
yeah,
behind the
that's
scenes
gonna
stuff
be
about
the biggest
that, and I'm excited. I can't wait to announce some
Yeah.
of those things that are
Yeah,
coming out of that show.
we're getting some bangers. We're gonna get some bangers.
Sure.
We're
Some
gonna be open
old
to doing
school.
interesting
We'll say.
things on air, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. You know? But anyway,
Actually,
let me
one
bust that
question.
here.
Can I actually do one more question? Got a
Go ahead,
question
go
from Streamlabs real quick. Jeremiah Moore has donated.
Yeah.
Says, got a question
nice.
for Gucci. I got a bet with Kaiser. My real question is when Ben loses tomorrow, probably by KO, as he does, how do I collect from Kaiser? And when you lend me the barbarian his muscle if he doesn't pay up?
You know, surprisingly about Kaiser, he's pretty stand up when it comes to like illegal activity. You know, like gambling and drinking and smoking and like, you know, everything else that illegal, you know, degenerates do. He's actually a pretty good degenerate.
This guy's code of honor.
If it was something, if it's money, he'll pay up. It's cards, like all kinds of stuff, because he has like that gambler's mentality where he's like, yeah, I lost here, boom, take the money.
Right.
I mean, you have to worry about him in different other formats. You know what I mean?
Fair
Like
enough.
when you're, you know, that's the thing. Yeah. But other than
We
that,
know
you should
that.
get your money. You should get your money if it's a monetary bet, but who knows? You know. So
We'll find out.
yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for giving us your time. Have a great rest of
got it,
the day.
guys.
And as always, man.
Enjoy. And I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys this week.
Absolutely.
Later.
Be the Gucci
Adios,
versus always.
muchacha. Yep.
Take care.
See ya. Yep.
All right. Well, that was the one and only Bobby Gucci. He did have other stuff he had to do, so he didn't want to waste time with watching the match with him. He definitely didn't want to see it again, so just want to get that insight while they could. Kelsey and I are going to try to look through the match now as best we can. We'll get that right on screen, talk over a little bit as we go. We're going to skip through the promos, although I always hate skipping through the promos only because it's Nerd Chronic always has gold. But you know, just limited time that we have. This was a good one too. This was a very
So
good.
good.
So we'll just start going. If anybody in the chat wants to give us any more questions, let us know. And let us know if the volume is good. If you don't want to be able to hear us over it, but hear enough of the match, you can stay in there. We're going to start right in round one now. Before as we start going in this, Kelsey, what were your thoughts going into the match?
Going into the match, I was really excited. I know Rocha, the powerhouse player, has been since the game started, but Collins impressed me in his first match. Like he just, like what Gucci was talking about, he's so calm and collected. Doesn't seem like he could be rattled. He has clearly got so much knowledge. I'm like, this could be an upset. Like it really could be. I mean, I definitely did not have faith in Rocha to be able to pull the win.
Okay, Christian.
But Collins is scary. He's proving himself to be a very powerhouse player as well.
You're not wrong. Collins is gone into this now. He's come in. He's TKO people left and right. He's got a lot to live up to now. I mean, the one question I have about him now, I mean, he has a perfect game, so it's hard to question his knowledge base. The only question I have now is he's never been taken to a third round. You never see him get to answer those third round questions at this point. So, when he gets into somebody who can really put it to the test, let's see. I want to see how he reacts to that. But so far, I mean, he's done everything. He can only answer the questions that are in front of you. You can only play as long as you're allowed.
You're given.
So I have nothing but good things to say about Mr. Collins. And yes, Weston Hearn, yes, Weston, I will put some Yodi on the Nerd Chronic name. Yodi for Chronic. Chronic for Yodi as well. It's all good for us.
Chronic for you.
That's what I say for both.
5, 4, 3.
I thought it was interesting how Rocha
pens down.
was very
Robin Williams.
like Gucci kind of alluded to it. He's very low key in the beginning. He had this very much a
Robin Williams.
Yes.
just wanted no nonsense kind of thing. He just kind of came in. Usually that means he's ready to go, but I kind of felt it was less an intimidation thing and more a I don't want to say low energy, but just kind of felt like didn't feel like he was as pumped, ready to go. I don't know if it was like he was worried or if he was. I don't know what was going on. Maybe he's feeling the losses. Maybe I don't know.
That's kind of what I got. Is maybe because of that he's trying to dial in even more. So he's like, okay, like I usually, I have my theatrics. I'm just dialing in. I'm just gonna focus, not let anything distract me. So I kind of took it like that. Like he's like, okay, I've done it this way in the last few matches. It didn't work out in my favor. Let me try this.
Right.
Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
Yes, Adam.
Matthew McConaughey.
Now the round one, obviously, Collins, obviously, as we know, is not a spoiler. This he's already said he pitched perfect. He did perfect and got his bonus point. That's 9 points in the first round. Rocha didn't have a bad first round. Not a bad first round, not at all. It's kind of funny, and I'll mention it at the end, I think, but at the end of the round one, he was down 9-6, I believe. 9-6, yeah. So it's a decent enough first round, but did feel like it almost felt, I don't want to say insurmountable, but just felt like Adam was like almost just in control of the match, more than a 9-6 lead would indicate. That makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like that's what we're like I was saying a bit ago is like a 6 in round one. It's not usually like, you know, like, okay, well, the match is over, you're gonna win. But just the way Collins is playing and the fact that he did pitch a perfect game, that is super hard to come back from. You know what I mean? At that point. So yeah, I definitely got the energy as well. Where like I was more worried than I usually would have been. Nothing about Rocha playing the game. Just I put it more on Collins. Just the way Collins was playing and his attitude and the way he was going into it. It's very intimidating.
Yeah, Collins is not acting like a rookie. He's definitely not shook. He's unflappable, and I guess that goes back to something we've mentioned before. As a former like a fan leaguer who's made the jump, this is their home. This is how they play the matches all the time. This is home to them. They're used to it. Yep. Not that the Showdown, like the veterans are. By now, they're kind of John's played a couple of games this way. Yep. This is not like it's anything, but it is out of the element. I do want to see how they do in a studio, like a real studio event.
I do too. I think Rocha is a prime example of a player that does very well in front of an audience. He feeds off the energy. He like what Richard's saying, he's a presence in the studio. Like he's just like this looming. He's the outlaw, and I do feel like it's lost a little bit through Zoom and StreamYards and things like that, just because we're all just a little box, and you don't have to even look at the person. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a different vibe, different energy, and I could see that being one of the things that affected this match. It's just that we can't have the looming Rocha presence through StreamYards the way we can normally.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right on that. I mean, to me, it's like just to take it a little bit further, like you mentioned the outlaw, the looming presence, even as something as simple as the entrance.
Yeah, just
like,
the entrance.
The entrance, he comes out, is much different than going, oh, from the Federal Stock Exchange, and then the camera comes up and you're there. I can tell you, honestly, it's kind of fun that, like, funny for me, like even when we start a stream, like it's kind of always something you have the big music and everything, all of a sudden it kind of pops up and there we are. Whereas like in the studio, you walk in, you're getting the kick starting over, you're walking in, you get to strut in,
you're pointing at people, looking at people in the eyes, and you're just feeding off of it. You're getting hyped, exactly.
And John did not seem hyped at all. I mean, this is different. Like he seemed hyped after his losses, like he was ready, he wanted revenge, he was saying all the right things. But he comes here and he just seems a little. It just seemed a little subdued for me.
Adam Collins gets it right.
Yeah, back to entrances. That is one thing that I miss. I mean, there's several things, but that's one of the things I miss greatly from the studio matches. Is the entrances. I do.
Well, yeah.
I feel like in every other way, this has been able to be pretty similar to a studio match. Like it's the entrances and then the post-match interviews with Jen are like the two things that just like I miss them
so much. Miss it so much. And the thing, like even like today, the Trivia Schmodown Clips channel, Frankie Janice pointed at a Andrew Guy coming out.
Andrew Guy with the greatest entrances of all time.
Greatest entrances, and that was somebody you can't do that online.
Do you know the classic Disney movie because of the kids?
Well, here is the second question that he missed, that Rocha missed. He missed the earlier question, but this is the one about Peter Pan. I was surprised he missed this one. I don't know why I'm so surprised. I mean, I know I have kids and he doesn't, but like, it seemed like that was one of those classic animated films way back in the day when he was younger. You know, jokes aside, age jokes aside, like that was a very famous saying. I thought it kind of was ingrained in culture. I mean, I don't know. I might be different.
Yeah, I feel similarly. I was kind of surprised, but I also am looking through the scope where I have kids and we watch Peter Pan together, so it just I hear and also at Disneyland recently and. It's like so it's on my mind. So maybe somebody who isn't watching animated movies the way that we are as parents might miss that, but I'm not sure.
Also, fun fact: I was actually in 6th grade. I was in Peter Pan as Michael for a professional production in my area. We actually toured it to Moscow, so that might be where I have it on the mind.
That's why you are a professional actor.
I am. I've definitely got a lot bigger in some areas than to play Michael now, but you know it is what it is.
Time does its toll on everybody.
I do love the Damaguchi. I should ask him about that when he was in here. I love that name. I love he comes up with all these things. I almost mentioned Count Gucci still. I kind of didn't want to let that one go, but Damaguchi's pretty good.
Count Gucci with his collar up, everything that holding the orb. He's got super villain vibes, and I'm down for it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
In round number 1,
and there's the other one, Shannon. There, she's still a ball of fire. I gotta tell you, I loved her. I loved her promo part. The whole like, yeah, John Rocha's a legend. Am I saying enough now? Can I go on now? It just seems so perfect for her. It's so funny, but so like chef's kiss.
Well, so good. And I love Shannon and Adam's dynamic together. Like just like the queen teaching her young up and coming rookie how to like. I don't know. I just love their vibe. I think they work really well off each other. I'm super excited for him coming in teams with Marisol. Just the three of them, their dynamic together is going to be so good.
Yes.
Round and round it goes, and boy, Christian, if this guy gets.
Well, I love that he actually. We know we got ahead that Collins wants to just keep the momentum on. I think it was probably a good idea because he obviously had. It's like when you punch somebody in the mouth and he's a little like.
Well, it's no secret.
Keep the momentum going, like punch me even further, and that's what happened. I mean, he spins classics.
If we end up with it, that'll be fine. But
he doesn't seem like he's scared of it. I don't know if that was just talk. I don't know if
it's strictly because of Rocha stealing is the only reason he didn't keep it.
I mean, I'm interested to see if he is kind of scared of it. Like it was just talk, because like if he can talk like that and bluff like that, that's actually another skill.
That's fair. That's very true.
Anne Hathaway movies, it is.
Anne Hathaway does not. He never betrays anything. Like Rocha's always the emotional one. That kind of thing, and like other people are like that. Collins is a great poker face.
Very good poker face.
Yep.
Dangerous in Vegas.
Very dangerous in Vegas.
Who directed?
I remember live in Vegas. I'm like, hey, Collins, show me how you do that.
In the 2015 film, The Intern.
See, I didn't know this one. I actually did fairly decent in this round because I like Anne Hathaway movies, but I'm not good with. I didn't understand. I knew this one.
Okay.
Recently released in Rehab in what 2000s drama?
That is one thing I have to agree. Like, kind of when Rocha was starting his round, he mentioned he's like, I hope my questions are kind of on the same level thing as his question. And I mean, I don't like westerns, and I like Anne Hathaway, but I did know almost all of these questions and knew none of his. But you know what I mean? So like, I don't know.
But that is his strength. Also, we're gonna get to that. But even having the strength, it doesn't mean anything. You have a strength. Like Paul Yama has classics as a strength. We saw what happened. It's spectacular. Collins comes in and that just goes perfect in Anne Hathaway. That's something to know, man.
Multiple and like not like no GTEs, no like hesitation. Like it's just like
boom. There it is. Yep.
And 60 seconds.
There it is. Though. Look at that, 17-6. Like that's got to be intimidating at that point. Rocha, like I said it at one point. I think I said it during the. I was in a chat with somebody. It felt like John Rocha was not quite as badly, but he was making the Christian Harloff, Guy Merle face, Guy Merle body language. It was just more and more as the match went on. He was just. He even tried to get the jab, and he even tried to do the intimidating thing, the jab thing, like better get your jab or keep your lead. He was like throwing little jabs, trying to do it. Collins unflappable. And then Outlaw hits westerns, and it was the one he wanted to get.
All right, so we're taking.
And yet,
all right, we're gonna bring back.
Doesn't quite get it.
The same level of questions.
There it is. There it is.
All right, so here we
go. You gotta make a shot. Gotta make a shot.
For westerns now, Mark.
Gotta pull the punches. Do the punches you got. Gotta do them.
Love you, PJ. We know you work very hard. You and your entire crew. We're big fans of PJ on this podcast.
Westerns, each question's worth 2 points.
Absolutely.
And here we go. In the world of Western.
Outside of the match, I think westerns is definitely something I need to start actually watching because I've maybe seen like 2 in my entire life.
I'm not a huge like classic westerns guy because some of the newer ones, like the more modern ones, I can kind of take. Just never something I gravitated towards those. My father used to love them.
What rock star provides the soundtrack for
this is definitely a Mark Ellis question and a PLD question. I love this one. And obviously today it's a Jake Yakoveta question.
This Jake started a sing along in our chat of Living on a Prayer. We're all going that he didn't participate. We gave him the ball and he dropped it.
He had 2 hours on his mind, he said. He wouldn't continue it. But so maybe not Living on a Prayer, but Blaze of Glory is not too bad either, Jake. Maybe that's what you can replace Living on a Prayer with.
2 more points, and the Outlaws cooking in a category he favors.
Here he is. He's like Weston brings up a good point there. It seems like he's trying to focus, but it just seems like he almost feels beaten. Like he just didn't feel right at this point.
To kill him before the music finishes.
He doesn't, and this is the straw that broke the straw broke the camel's back or whatever. Like he couldn't get this in 2 points, and it was totally demoralized about it. He couldn't sweep the category. Not that it mattered a whole lot. He still gets the 1 point, but it's just like it's a psychological momentum thing. He's just like, I'm done.
Do you think if he would have used another JTE, maybe he could have pulled it without going to multiple, or was he smart to save it?
I think at this point he should have gone for it, because I think at this point, I mean, hindsight's 2020, obviously, so we know how the match went down. But it's almost like I've always been a participant. Like, you don't save it if you need it, because you get the points you need at the time. If you get the points you need at the time, you can, you have to. I mean, you worry about it later. Worry about the present.
A is correct.
And that's it. He was a little locked in. It seemed like he just was always. He just never had a chance to breathe. He got popped in the mouth in the round one, and then Collins had that per round. He just never could quite recover.
And we get to the rules of round number 3.
Round number 3. This is the round that will determine the match, lest we go to sudden death overtime. I'll see if the math checks out on that.
And I don't know if he I want to know. I mean, he definitely checked out by the end. He was definitely not the outline. I don't know when it happened necessarily, but I think that last one, I think he had a glimmer of hope when he spun Westerns, when he couldn't go 4 for 4, which just sucks, because I mean, he got all the questions right. He just had checked out a multiple choice once. But it was already too late. It was already too late at that point.
And your final question, should we make it that far?
And you know what? That's another thing I want to bring up. I mentioned it earlier, is that we haven't seen Collins get the 3rd round yet. We've never seen Collins face any adversity either. I never had Collins have to come back. Like, I think some of the better players in the league have had that moment, like Merle coming back against Bateman or whatever. Like, when they're down and they have to claw back. They're like a Rocha right now, and they have to come back and win a match. That's what makes a true winner at that point. Can Collins do that? We don't know yet. He's still young. He's still. I want to say, like, he definitely deserves all the due he gets. I know he's getting crowned very early for a lot of this stuff, but
don't be afraid to speak.
Let's see what happens when he has a little more time on the road. Everybody's had great matches at the beginning. They kind of fall through sometimes. Let's see how he faces adversity. I want to see.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because that can make a big difference, because he's been always in the lead trajectory from the get-go. What if he falls behind? Can that get to him? Will that affect his gameplay in future rounds if he does fall behind? Like, we haven't seen that yet, and maybe we never will. But I do know. I mean, like, look what happened with him playing against John Rocha. So, like, who's gonna put him in that situation? Like, I feel like Dan Merle kind of
right.
Ben Bateman. Those are our elite top scary players.
Maybe Bibiani, if he gets that far, could be one that maybe puts him that way. Maybe. Yeah. And after he wins this, he goes on to face Lon Harris, which should be a fun match. I wonder if that kind of player
work and stuff
will intimidate him. Not intimidate him, but like distract him. But he seems like he's ready to go against the intimidation thing.
Yeah.
But like, he also seems like he's kind of a fun guy himself. Like, he likes to have fun with his own promos. He has these like funny little things he says. Does he start getting along with Lon and almost like
I can't imagine trying to focus and do anything with Lon sitting there doing his one-liners. Even if I was like on my game, if they was over there just doing his thing, I'd just be like, what you're saying is a lot more interesting, whatever has happened.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna be excited for that match. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. This is the weird question. Now, a lot of people I was talking to him point and said that the answer was it a blind spotting? Was it a crime movie? I think you can put it in that category. I mean, there's definitely, it's not necessarily specifically a crime, but there's crime surrounding the whole thing. That's kind of felt, so I was okay with that.
I have not seen the movie, so I don't have an educated decision on this, but I feel like there are always the genres that's like, that movie is 100% that genre. It's very obvious, but like, for example, I consider Logan a Western. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like to me. So if they put a question from Logan, I wouldn't fight it. I mean, other people probably would, but I wouldn't. And I feel like movies do have those tones to them. So if there's crime involved, kind of surrounding it, I don't fault them for putting it in that category.
I love this question, by the way.
I had no idea.
I'm big Minority Report fans.
3 actors, I could not tell you whose face, like their faces or anything like that. And so I was like,
Stormare, you know definitively by face. He's in one of those. If you ever need a Russian guy, you get him pretty much at that point. He's like in the John Wick 2. He was in Armageddon as the Russian cosmonaut. Nice. There's actually a couple of things. Where is this? That's a good point, though. You know, no matter what he's doing, it doesn't matter what John Rocha did. You can't beat somebody if they win, if they get every question.
That is exactly right.
And Megs also agrees with us. Yeah, it's true. Boyama did have to prove that. It's very true.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Great.
But yeah, I was sitting here earlier. I'm like, I have no idea. The guest that I said out loud while I was watching, like, I don't know. Eyes wide shut. I have no idea.
Minority Report is actually my favorite Spielberg film.
I love
that might be why. That might be why. There it is. There it is. I love Shannon's reaction.
My favorite thing though is watch Collins. Like you could just see him, just like, oh my god, just beat John Rocha.
There it is, right there, breathing out.
You can see him like, I just beat the outlaw.
And that shows where he was the entire time. He held this in the entire match. He was unflappable. He shows the emotion right there. Can't believe it happened. I can't believe it.
John Rocha propelling himself. It's 2-0, 2 knockouts back to back, and now he goes on.
I mean, I gotta say that this was the one match I predicted. Where I said that if there was going to be an upset out of the four corners, this was the one I probably thought was the most likely to, but I never would have predicted a TKO.
With a match
Never would
like
have predicted that.
I think even the great John Rocha will say that, you were just answering lights out. I mean, I know John, and that's what he's going to say. John played a great game. John missed, 3 questions or whatever it was, and he had some hard work.
John played a great game. It's just Collins was perfect. It's hard to be perfect. I mean, you guys do that with me every day.
And that's it.
You just had your day.
Collins was the most surprised. He was surprised into it. Corruption is looking great right now. That's true. Corruption is looking very good. Thank you, Davey and Mr. Renner. I will say that the interesting point is perception is key, right? And I think the story of this, even though John Rocha played a good game, he played a fine game. This is not like John Rocha's done the matches, like they're just passed him by. He missed 3 questions. And it's just so. But the problem with it is, like I said, perception wise, what's going to come out of this is John Rocha got beaten by TKO'd by a rookie. It doesn't even matter who the rookie is. It doesn't matter how good the rookie is. The story is more powerful than the actual event.
That is true, especially since he's spun Western, which is his specialty.
And that is an excellent point I was going to bring up. Not only did he get TKO'd, he got TKO'd after spinning his strength. This is not a spinner's. You can't pull up the spinner's choice, opponent choice. No one had spinner's choice. Rocha had a strength.
I sent a message to you to let you know that I was playing in the other leagues after you announced that there was a vacancy in your faction.
Adam Collins is in shock right now.
So since then, to answer your question.
I love
Shannon. So the other thing here is we've got Chance Ellison left. And
we don't need to actually watch any more of
this. Yeah, we don't need to watch.
We don't see interviews, even though I love seeing Shannon's lovely face. Of course, right? Let's look up and let's get Meg's stats on the board. Meg's always we love Meg's on this podcast. She's our newest member of C2A, and she does these lovely stats. She's I want to say our Frank Jennis, but I think that Frank is the Schmodown's Megs at this point. That's what I have to say.
That's exactly right. Frank is the Schmodown's Megs.
Frank knows I love him.
We love Frank, but we love Meg's family. So
we also love busting his balls too. That's right. So there you go. There you got 9-6 in round 1. That was it. That was the story right there. Like, and that's rarely the story. It's rarely a story where at the end of round 1, that's it. Because round 2, they both did everything they need to do. They did everything that went their way. I mean, Collins obviously, and Hathaway. He knows Anne Hathaway obviously goes perfect in it. 2 winners after spinning away from classics. Rocha got his strength, did what he had to do with 1 multiple choice. And then round 3, just he could not get it done with Crime or with Tom Cruise. That's what ended up killing him. Yep. But again, let's see the accuracy, 100%.
100%. Like it's just you can't beat that number. You just can't. And so no matter who he played up against, you just can't beat perfect.
But looking correctly, I look at the Schmodown team standings, a Twitter handle I follow, and every day he posts the standings in an easy to read format. So I suggest you can go follow them. I'll give them a free plug. He has not posted the standings yet, but from the standings as of yesterday, it looks like with that win, the FinStock Exchange, the FinStock Exchange could have vaulted back into first, but instead Corruption goes from 38 to 42 points, which ties them with Swag, one over the Finstock Exchange at that point. So it's 42, and the Finstock Exchange are at 41. You can't get much tighter than that.
It's such a tight race. I feel like the rest of the season, it's just that's what's going to be. Nothing against other factions like that. But I think those three, it's just going to be switching constantly throughout the rest of the thing, and then really maybe what happens in Spectacular is what seals the deal, who wins the whole event, because it's been so tight, and just predicting it to stay that way.
The only other team that could possibly pop through would be the Quirky Mercs. They're 25, they're further on, but they do have a lot of talent left with the Shazams, with Bibiani, and so that's a potential thing. I think everyone else is almost playing for next year at this point, but we'll have to see how that goes down. That's obviously been struck by COVID, has been part of the reason why. Obviously, some factions have had more matches than others for that reason. It's hard to have a complete schedule. I think that's one of the reasons why we have Janine Machine versus the Warfathers undercard. Get some two underrepresented factions, some playtime. Some points in there, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Yep. I'm excited for that match. So whatever you gotta do to get that match happen, I'm good with.
Oh yeah, I'm very fun with that. I think that excuse me. Yeah, Janine's gonna have some great moments in there. I think this is good for what is it handle? Yeah, let me throw it. I'll actually throw it in the link here for you. The one I follow. Twitter.com. Here's the handle. Throw that in the chat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I follow them as well. It's really nice because I'll have to admit, not being a person from a sports background, things like that, like points and things, I have no idea what that stuff means. So it's nice for someone just to put it out there where I can see it like every day. It's like, okay.
And that's right. The tournaments are also some of the main reasons as well, because once you're out, and that kills you too. That's definitely a big reason. I'm just saying the reason I meant the other reason is just because we didn't have matches earlier in the year for a little bit of a time. So that helped too. Interesting also as well, the Exchange now has more losses than the Rockstars. Wow. That's the Rockstar. Yeah, that's true. They have 10 losses, while the Rockstars only have 9. And same with the Den only has 9.
The way the points worked out, that they're still
because they have 14 wins, and that's partially because of Ben and Dan. And they're throwing the belts around, and they're going back and forth. And who's the boss? And the Founding Fathers, they just have a lot more matches because they're in a lot more championship matches. You can't blame them for that. That's what their due is for winning. That's what winning happens. So I can't blame them at all for that. But it is what it is. What do you have? So tomorrow we're talking about Janine and Warfather. Who do you have for Janine and Warfather match? You have a prediction?
I do have a prediction. I love both so much, but I have more tape on Janine. I know what kind of competitor she is. I also know that she is long overdue for just like a total winning streak, belts contention match. So I feel like this is going to be the beginning of that. So I have Janine winning for sure. Mm-hmm.
I do also have Janine winning. I think Janine is a great quality player, and she deserves her due. Warfather is, again, like you said, I don't have a lot of tape on him. I think he could be fun. He's definitely going to be entertaining. They're both going to be entertaining. Mm-hmm. But I do think Janine does take this one tomorrow, and that's fine. It's Action Army. He's always been Action Army, so we're good for that.
Action Army First Lady.
That's true. That's true. And then, of course, we also have the Warfather is popping into the chilled action the other day in the chat, so maybe we'll get him in the Action Army as well at some point. We'd love to have him in there as well. But in the big match, you have a match. I know you're Team Trader already. I know you know that. So is that who you're picking?
That is who I'm picking. I feel like Ben's going to come for the win.
I will say this. I am Team Guy still. I'm not Team Trader. I'll never be Team Trader. I do think it's going to be a great match. This first match, the Atlanta match, was the match of the year still. It's still match of the year.
So good.
I loved watching that match and watching it back. I'm going to have to pick Dan at this point, only because I feel like this is actually not, this is a completely serious, not even a rooting thing at this point. Mm-hmm. I just think that Ben is someone he's going to need all of his tools, all the tools in the toolbox to beat Dan. It's one of those things where Dan is the GOAT for a reason, and Ben is great, but Ben needs to use all of his strategies, all of his cerebral things. I don't think the digital format lends to that. He might pitch if he pitches a perfect game, that's something else. I mean, that's something else. He did that against Andrew Guy. But he do it against Dan Merle, it's hard to say.
That's very fair.
But I mean, he can't do a thing. And the speed round, that's the thing that kills me all the time. His speed round in Atlanta, that's why he was up for a while. He got a lot of points out of that because he could beat Dan on the buzzer. Mm-hmm. Dan doesn't have to have a buzzer in this one. So it makes it easier for him to do. Ben's still going to be good at the speed round, but Dan can definitely tighten the gap from what it was. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. throwback to a conversation we had earlier on the show is that Ben is very similar to like what we're saying with Rocha, where I feel like their looming presence against them playing. Maybe Dan's kind of immune to that, but I just feel like overall, as Ben is competitor through the online matches, is that the boss sitting there in his suit with the sunglasses just staring you down does damage. You know what I mean? Like it gives him an advantage, and he can't do that right now. So
yeah, maybe not Dan either way. I think Dan's the one who's hard to be intimidated. But quite honestly, what it also is that Ben has always been much more respectful of Dan than anybody else.
That is awesome.
He's not going to come in tossing his barbs. He tosses at Shazam or tosses at Bibiani or tosses. He's not going to throw those things out, and that's to his detriment. I've always kind of said that, Ben, if you're going to do it. He's your faction mate, but he's also right now your opponent. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, it's neither here nor there. You got to do what you got to do. But he's holding back a little bit. So we'll have to see. I'm interested to see. He said before, not going to the movies has kind of dulled his edge a little bit. I'm hoping that he found his way back. So I want to see a good match. We'll have to see how this goes. It's going to be a very fun match either way. I can't wait.
No matter what.
I can't wait to see it, and we'll definitely be breaking that down on. Look, I'm going to segue on Call to Action Live on Saturday. We'll do Saturday night. I think we're doing at 8 p.m. Pacific, I believe, is what we were going for.
Yep, 7:38. Either works for me. So.
With guest Jen Sturger. She was not able to be on last week due to some illness. She's going to come on this week, and she'll help us break down the pay-per-view, and also talk about her new show coming up with Brad Gilmore, coming up next, which is going to be fun. A lot of fun.
So fun.
So, beyond that, we are not going to have a show tomorrow, I don't think, unless something's going to on. Sometimes we do a Friday night Twitch hangout sometimes, but who knows what that's going to happen. But the other thing we do have is this Sunday. It's actually great timing. This is great timing for us to have this Chill Dash. Adam Collins on Chill. I mean, we can talk about this match. We can talk about him and Marisol entering the teams tournament. This is actually really good timing to have him as a guest on Chill.
I know, we've been wanting to do it for a while, and man, did the card just fall perfectly to make that work out.
So bring your questions. Bring your questions for that, and we'll go from there. So Kelsey, where can the folks find you?
All right. You can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram. I also have a cosplay-specific Instagram, which is Miss Quinkins. So if you like cosplay, follow me there. TeePublic, we've got merch. We have masks. Buy a mask. And, yeah, you'll see me, of course, on Call to Action Live every Saturday now. So I'm always excited to see you guys there.
Awesome. For myself, at Paul_Denuzio on Twitter. You can find me at Call to Action, mostly on Call to Action Live most weeks. Sometimes we'll take a week or two here off. But Kelsey and I have been going to be trading off our lead host duties on that. Yep. Give us all some breaks here and there to go. It's kind of fun, but it should be a lot of fun. We have a good panel always, and a lot of fun on that show. And of course, you can find me on Chill to Action on new nights, Sunday nights now, with my other work wife, Danny Joy, on every Sunday night now for at least till the end of the year. Then we might have to revisit it at that point. We'll have to see. But you can also find me on PLD Projects on my own channel. After everything slows down, I'll be working on the Harris Dance, bringing you every single movie that Harris has been in, make you love him or die trying. And also you can find me on the Action Industries YouTube channel with Ben and Drew's channel, where I do Class Action Weekly. And that's something I should bring up. I don't have the thumbnail loaded up, but we can talk about it anyway. Actually, Class Action is going to go live this Friday, tomorrow night. We're actually going to go live. We didn't do this very often, but I have a night off. I'm going to be watching the pay-per-view, but 10 p.m. Pacific, Jarvie and myself are going to go live with Miss Kelsey. And hopefully, I have to confirm it with her, hopefully also with Danny Joy as well. It'll be the four of us. And I would suggest before you watch that, go watch the Action Guys on Sunday. They did a ranking of franchises. This is going to be a rebuttal to that, and we can decide which Action Guys did it better. It would be Ben and Drew, or myself and Jarvie and Kelsey and Danny. It'll be 10 p.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern on the Action Industries YouTube channel. That's it. Anything else? Anything further, Kelsey? Anything else you need to say?
Nothing I can think of. I'm just
Nothing.
excited to see you all tomorrow.
Definitely going to be a fun one. Thank you for popping in. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you like about the channel, what you dislike about the channel, what you like to see from the channel. Always looking for more ways to better our content and to improve as always. Thank you for popping by. Love you guys. And as always, we salute you.